Well, good morning, and happy Tuesday to everybody. I looked at the weather. It's only going to be 94 today. That's the one thing you'll learn about Arizona is that when we're hanging in the 90s, and I'll still never get used to this, you have those days where it's clear over 100, 114, 150, and then that day comes on the news that says, we're having a cooling trend. It's only going to be 98. Who'd have ever thought that 98 degrees is a cooling trend? So hanging in the 90s, second week of May, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. We kind of like it. Cactus are blooming now, so you get a chance, get out to the high, not the high desert, the desert, and you can see the white flowers on the cactus. Kind of fun. Something to do, right? So welcome. Where are we at today? We are at 4,660 homes on the market, and kind of typical for a Tuesday. It's actually about 500 or 600 homes more than what we've been consistently seeing for a while. Running at altitude says 4 inches of snow last night in Colorado. In July, I'm going to say I need some snow. We had 4,200 homes come on the market and 3,958 go under contract. Both those numbers on the 7-day moving average are starting to shrink a little bit, with the number of listings outpacing homes under contract. But again, the numbers are so small, they look good on a chart. But instead of getting 15 offers on your home, you're probably getting 10. Traffic is still brutal out there. There's still bidding wars in every price range. And we're going to talk about highest and best today after I run through some more stats here for you. Oh, here's something interesting. And as far as transparency, at the end of the month, we have in Maricopa County 17,406 active agents. Now, there are more agents with their license. Whoops, almost knocked something over here. More agents that have their license, but these are active agents, ones that are selling one home or more in Maricopa County. 1,746. And after next week, I will be number 3,714. No, number 2,092. I'll be in the top 12%. So, and that's because of you guys. So I want to thank all my loyal subscribers and my clients that I've been able to help, and that gets me ranked up there. It's kind of fun. I usually don't pay a lot of attention to that, but I ran into it on the Cromford Report and thought, where am I? So I took a peek. Some interesting stuff here. A lot of people talking about affordability. When are we not going to be able to afford a house here? Where are we at nationally? Because, Arizona's just, prices just keep going and going and going. So the National Association of Realtors did a little ditty here, and let's see, let me get to it here. There we go. You'd think I'd know how to do this. Impact of higher mortgage payments on housing affordability. So they played what if. Now, so they're saying right now in February 21, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate was 2.73. Now it's about 3.1. The median single family home price nationally, remember this is nationally, is $317,100. The median family income was $85,000. At a 20% down payment, the mortgage payment was 14.4% of income. That's pretty good. 14%. You start getting up in the 20s, you have a problem, because you add the rest of your bills in there, you're going to have a debt to income ratio problem qualifying. So now they did some scenario analysis here. And one of the scenarios, they said, well, okay, a 30-year fixed mortgage payment rises to 4. That's a pretty big leap. And the median single home price rises by 9%. So your home is 9% higher. Your mortgage rate is almost a full percent higher. What's that mean to affordability? Well, it says your percentage of income goes to 18.6. Now, scenario number 2, they said a 30-year fixed mortgage rises to 4. Family home rises by 9%, but your income goes up by 2.8. You got a raise, okay? So as the mortgage payment as a percentage of income increases to 18.1 from 14.4. So that's down a little bit from 18.6, kind of insignificant. You wouldn't really pay that much attention. But here's what it means on your mortgage payments here on the chart. Remember, they're going from 2.75 to 4, so boom, that's a big leap. So they're showing your payment go from 1,033 to 1,330. And as a percentage of income, here's what it lines up down there below. Now, Nobody really knows where interest rates are going. There's an interesting comment here by this Fed guy out of Dallas. And the title says, Fed's Kaplan sees strong job gain ahead. He wants taper talk. In other words, he said that it's time to start talking about tapering back the purchases of mortgage backed securities. That's a really delicate subject because anytime they talk about it, the markets panic. So if they just start talking about pulling back on mortgage-backed securities, they're going to have what's called a taper tantrum, and the mortgage rates are going to go up. So you got one guy now in the Fed in Dallas is saying, I think it's healthy to talk about this. Let's take a look. And if that gets any traction, watch out for rates. It's going to be interesting. I have another thing that I think, thanks to you guys, there were some questions. We're going to take a look and see how good this is. But there were some questions. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday it said, do you know of any rentals that I can rent short term because I'm waiting for my house to be built? And guess what? I found one. It's right here. And it's called Tweener Homes, Between Homes. So these are short-term rentals. Finally, a website came up that's addressing a need. I think this thing's fabulous. So where do you want to go? So we can pick a city here, and I'm going to say there's probably not a lot of homes on here, and there's probably other sites out here. I put the link to this website in the comments below, so you can take a look at it. But let's just say we're going to go. Let's do Gilbert, okay? And I'm not really going to pick a date, but let me just say, you need something the 1st of June, okay? Any bedrooms. I don't know why it didn't pick that. Let's try it. June. Come on. Well, it didn't pick it. So let's just do a search, just a broad-based search here. See what comes up. So here's Santan Ranch at $2,200 a month. Here's a Gilbert home with office space for $1,900 a month, and one with a pool, mother-in-law suite, $1,850 a month. Not bad. There's 3 short-term rentals. So take a look on that site and let me know what you think. If you're trying to find something that's temporary, that might be a nice tool for you to look for. Now, on the regular rental market right now, as people are starting to worry about inflation and starting to experience inflation, landlords know they can get more rent next year for your place, right? This reminds me when I moved to Seattle in the late 70s, there was a lot of inflation, and I was lucky because I got a 9-month lease. You couldn't get a 1-year lease. Most people had you at 6 months, and in 6 months, they'd raise your rent again. I got a 9-month lease. People were like, man, Rick, you nailed it. Way to go. I think that's going to return. Terry, I don't know if you guys can see these comments. I had a boss said to me, your raise will become effective when you become effective. I've had the same boss. So anyway, you're going to start seeing rental rates going up, and you're going to see lease terms coming down. You may end up with a higher lease payment next year if you sign for a longer period. They may be encouraging you, saying your rent's going to be $1,800 a month if you go for 12 months. It's going to be $1,700 if you go for 9 months. So that's coming back, and we need to watch that. So we'll see what happens. Now, let's talk about highest and best offers for a moment, because that's really common in a bid situation where you have multiple offers on homes. And now, as a rule, sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. A few years ago, I had an agent actually ask me to submit a highest and best, which I thought was odd because the market wasn't that brisk. And I was suspicious. And I thought, why are they asking for highest and best? Because I think I'm the only offer. And so I just told my client, I said, in my opinion is just leave it where you're at. And they didn't accept our offer. But when I looked, a couple weeks later, the house was still for sale. They were trying to get me to raise my price. That's it. I thought it was very underhanded. Was a large agent here in Arizona. And I just thought that was kind of sneaky. Now, though, when you get a lot of multiple offers, they've really got 3 choices. One, they're just going to look at them all and they're going to pick the best one. They're going to pick the best terms. They're going to lean towards cash for a quicker close. Or number 2, They're going to maybe contact the top three that came in and goes, okay, guys, you're one of the top three. Um, Here's where you need to come in to be in play. And I'm telling the other two guys this too. So let's say you're at 600,000, 605 will make you competitive. Go back to your client and see if they want to come up to that price. Oh, and we do have one cash offer for 600 that looks attractive. You know, they'll share all the details with you. The third scenario is highest and best. And it's kind of clean. They just say, look, just have your client give me their best offer. And that way we can just cut through the chase. No escalation clauses. You know, I can beat this guy by $1,000 up to, 650,000. Just give him the 650. So how do you compete in highest and best, and what do you want to look for? So there is an article here that I found, how to win, and it just kind of defines what does highest and best mean. It says don't be scared off by multiple offers. In other words, just because you're hearing multiple offers doesn't mean that you're that far off. So don't panic. What you want to do, and you've heard me say this before, is you need to know where your comfort zone is. You're out shopping for a house. Let's say you don't want to pay more than $425, then stick to your guns, $425. And so your highest and best is going to be $425. You may have a gut that says, I'll probably get away with $415. You might, but you want to stick to your budget. This isn't a baseball game where you're trying to win and beat everybody else just so you can do it. You want to stay within your budget. So if you hear there's multiple offers, then you have to strike the conversation agent to agent. So your buying agent has to say, okay, what are we looking at? Now the buying agent may detail everything out, or he may say, your client's pretty close. Just go ahead and submit your best offer and let's see where you come in tonight, because we're going to review them all tonight or tomorrow. We'll let you know where you land. And because when you start doing escalation clauses, you got to put a spreadsheet together, and then you got to show them what the other bids were. And agents are just saying, just give me your highest and best. I don't have time for this. So that's why they're saying, why do sellers ask for highest and best? And you get information from the listing agent about other offers. Yes. How many other offers are there? They have no reason to hide that. Are any of the offers cash? When is the highest and best due? What's the highest offer you have now? They may not tell you this, but I like to ask. Is there anything special the seller's looking for? Closing date, financing, rent back? That's a question that needs to be asked. It's not always price when you're competing the highest and best. So I like calling the agent and saying, hey, what's the situation? We're considering writing an offer. Tell me what I'm up against. And sometimes they'll just tell you, well, Rick, we got 3 offers in right now. Some of them are over list price. You probably don't need to go crazy. But we'd love to see your offer. Is yours cash? Yes, this one's cash. Great. I'd like to see it. And then I ask the question, and it's usually appropriate when the house is occupied to say, is there anything else your sellers are looking for besides price? What kind of terms? Sometimes they'll say, well, they'd like to lease it back for 30 days. Great. I don't have to beat it on price. I can come in at $425. Or originally $425, maybe coming at $415, but I'd give them a good lease rate for a month to give them time to move. That's an attractive thing. So you have to ask these 5 questions. Then you know where you stand. You may not get an answer on number 4. What is the highest offer you have? Now you may not get an offer, but you can ask, hey, if I come in at this, do I have any wiggle room at all? Am I competitive at that price? And an agent will tell you. So how much should you offer? That's totally 100% up to you. We can guide you on where we think things are coming in, but I never tell a client, I would offer this. I would just say, where do you want to be? What do you feel comfortable with in this house? What price would you like to see this land that tells you that you're going to get this house? Because it's nerve-wracking to bid over asking price. And but it's happening in every house. We just had one that's going to close this weekend. The asking price was $325. We bid $353. The client felt like, gosh, I think I'm overbidding. I'm giving away too much. It appraised at $353, and nice house. And the sellers left all kinds of. They left a TV in this house that's bigger than my truck. I thought it was great. So now there's other ways. How else can you get your loans accepted? Sometimes I'll ask the seller to pay closing costs in any offer to save cash. So you can pay some of the seller's closing costs, But to be honest with you, if you're bidding up another 5,000, that's like offering to pay their closing costs anyway. So that's not really as effective as this article makes it out to be. And again, I put the link to this article down below. What if the seller does not ask for highest and best? Well, it says here, many times traditional sellers will receive multiple offers but not ask for highest and best. In many states, the listing agent is required to tell buyers when the seller receives other offers. When you're informed that there's multiple offers, don't wait around to see if they ask for highest and best. There's a chance they'll never ask. This is true, but you can still revise your offer. So you can have a conversation with your agent and say, here's what I want to do. I will go up to here, but please start here. Now, we're going to talk a little bit tomorrow about when are text messages considered binding agreements. They're really not, but text messages between agent to agent and agent to client can be tricky. I want to talk about some do's and don'ts tomorrow about that, because we have a fiduciary duty for the buyer. So you're going to tell me, I'm going to offer 10 over now, Rick, but I'm willing to go 20 over, but keep me at 10 if you can, maybe 15. And so you have that in the back of your mind. Now you can make a decision on the spot as an agent and say, hey, look, I want to write an offer that's 10 over. Does that have legs? And if he goes, yes, then I'm staying at 10. Or he can say, well, kind of makes you close. And I can say, okay, I'm going to go 12 over that. And so, because I already know that I've got permission to go 20 over, but I don't want to eat up all their cash right away. So you kind of step it up in the conversation and you get some kind of a verbal confirmation that that's probably going to have legs. It's not a commitment. If an agent says, yes, 415 will get you that home, that's not a commitment. You got to say, okay, I'm writing the offer now. And if that doesn't work, then send me a counter, but I'm going to go with 415. Send it over. You can always revise it. So keep that in mind. So I hope that helps. I hope you have a great Tuesday, and I will talk to you tomorrow. We're going to talk about how to stay out of trouble with text messages tomorrow. Until that day comes, I can't even talk. Have a great day. Fabulous Tuesday. Enjoy the weather.